How about this last question? Is there an actual login for Zoom, like an email? We keep clicking on it. Maybe not signing in. There's like a C4 that sends you another login for Zoom.
Remember I sent you a link for a mail one time?
Oh, then I got that. It's just on, even on that computer, it's not even starting. So, for whatever reason.
I mean, I just wish I could.
At this point, we're 3 months from having their stuff. Because we don't get any.
I've never had more of a deal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't think, how when I first came in, it's so see, I'm still.
That long time ago.
Yeah, and I think I do now. I think I do. So,
Let's get that. Hey,
yeah,
we've got a need, this is one of them.
I typed in.
February,
Mhm.
is next coming in, March 30th. Right, 6 months.
Right,
So we got to have a whole,
the end of February.
and then
They have to put us on their schedule, have to.
awesome.
Mr. Collins, you know what I have to say? Hey, Mr. Palmer, you know what? Mr. Randy?
So where's the hot spot? See. It's not available.
Anybody share a hotspot?
I don't have one on my phone, I'll $10.
Pay for it. I bet Randy's got one. Randy, you got a hotspot? You have a hotspot?
Oh, yes, I do. You need it, Cheryl?
Randy's not cheap like them.
I don't ever use it that way.
This one appears to not get this, it always has not.
Try charger. Future charger. Yeah, it's probably a little brother Scott.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to our work session for the city of Camilla. Today is Monday, November the 3rd, and we are live here at City Hall. We are currently on our 4th floor here in City Hall for our work session. At this time, we're going to go ahead and get started with our agenda for tonight. First of all, we'd like to get an approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, show of hands. Motion has been passed. At this time, we're going to go into our speaker appearance. Do we have anyone here for speaker appearance? At this time, you can approach the podium. Hearing none, we're going to move right along on our agenda for tonight. And first, we're going to have a presentation that is an update on our SNAP program, the Georgia Budget and Policy Institution. And at this time, we're going to allow Councilman Morgan to go ahead and proceed with that.
Yes, sir. Thank you all. This evening, with just the ongoing just SNAP situation, I thought it'd be important, not only for us, but for any constituent that may be watching, the stakeholders, just to get a real-time update on what's happening. Our region across the state does yield a high amount of SNAP recipients. For Mitchell County, we're at 25% of households that receive SNAP. There's almost 30 retailers across the county that could be impacted. And about $10 million comes through this area annually. So our good friend, Ms. Ife Finch-Floyd at the Georgia Budget and Policy Institute will brief us on that. And her presentation is at our desk as well. So this time I'll just turn it over to Ife.
All right, Ms. Ford, you are on.
Thank you so much, City Council, for having me today. Again, my name is Ife Finch-Floyd, and I'm with the Georgia Budget and Policy Institute. I'm just going to offer a little bit of background on what GBPI is and what we do. And I have to beg your forgiveness in advance. This is an active time for my family. If you hear some kids in the background, that is what's going on. They are hungry and want some dinner. Okay, so Georgia Budget and Policy Institute, we are a nonpartisan policy research organization. We're a 501c3. We do not receive any government funds. And what we do is really do research and analysis, as well as engage with stakeholders across the state, elected officials, mainly in the state house, but also sometimes with local officials like yourselves, and help break down policies. We also look at the state budget and analyze how state taxpayers' dollars are being utilized, and what is being invested in. Our mission is to advance economic opportunity for all Georgians, and we do that looking at a number of different policies, including tax policy, health care policy, looking at our education system from the youngest learners to graduate school, or to college at least, I should say. And we also look at programs that support people with low income. And in fact, that's most of my area, most of my portfolio. And that includes the SNAP program. So the official name of the SNAP program is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Fund. And I know it's been in the news a lot lately, so you guys are familiar with it, but it's also been known as food stamps, or some people might know it as SNAP EBT, because they have those debit cards that they use to purchase benefits with. So what I'm going to talk about in this conversation, and I emailed my presentation to Councilmember Morgan, so if you don't have it, hopefully you can get it after this presentation, so you will have that information in front of you. But first, I want to go over just some of the basics. Then I want to talk about some of the changes that that are happening to the program and will happen to the program after the passage of HR 1. That was the big reconciliation bill passed by Congress in early July. And then I want to talk about some more recent federal actions around food security and the SNAP program. So I'll touch briefly on the shutdown, because I know that might be top of mind for a lot of you. So let's just start with the basics. So the SNAP program is the nation's largest anti-hunger program, and it's already very efficient and effective at reducing food insecurity. SNAP helps about 1.4 million Georgians, that's about 13% of Georgians, put food on the table. And I believe Councilmember Morgan stated that in Mitchell County, that's about a little more than 5,000 residents, and that makes up about 25% of Mitchell County. So, but research finds that SNAP does more than just help support food insecurity. It helps support people's financial security, because often if they have SNAP benefits, they can put those resources, their earnings or other income, towards other things like rent, bills, or medicine. It improves health, and it improves children's long-term outcomes. So it does not just support individuals and families and their health and well-being, but it also supports the Georgia economy. There are more than $3 billion in federal SNAP benefits that were issued in Georgia in 2024. And this reaches thousands of retailers across the state, 10,000 retailers across the state, including many grocery stores, think the big box stores like Walmart's, but also even smaller farm stands and farmers markets as well. SNAP is disproportionately used in Georgia's more rural areas and small towns. SNAP supports jobs in the food distribution system. And during economic downturns like recessions, every $1 in SNAP yields more than $1.50 in economic activity. So, when unemployment is high, people often, if they've lost their job, they immediately apply for SNAP, and that goes immediately back into the economy. So there are a lot of important changes in SNAP. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to name a few, and then I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into a couple of changes. So first, and this is one of the more important things, is that SNAP will shift, the HR 1 shifts a lot of the costs that the federal government carried, shifts that to the states. And if states can't afford some of these new expenses, they may cut the program. It also expands what are known as work requirements to seniors and some parents. There are already existing work requirements in SNAP. I'll talk a little bit about that if I have time. But this expands work requirements. I do want to say that sometimes when people hear about work requirements, they say, oh, okay, well, of course, people should be working. But a lot of people who are on SNAP are either working or between jobs, they're recently unemployed, they are disabled, or they're seniors, or they're children, right? So there's not a lot of people who are not doing anything on SNAP, right? That's a little bit of a misunderstanding. Also, there's one more piece I wanted to note. There's also a lot of research that shows that work requirements can be very cumbersome and don't actually increase people's earnings or wages. So if we really do care about making sure that people who want to work and are looking for jobs, there are certainly strategies to connect people with those jobs, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a work requirement. HR 1 also ends eligibility for certain lawfully present immigrants like people who are refugees or those who are granted asylum. It also limits how much SNAP benefits will increase in the future. Council member, can someone tell me how many minutes I have? I want to make sure I'm not taking up too much time.
I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping up with the minutes, so you're almost toward the end, though, right?
7 minutes.
7 minutes, okay.
Okay, all right. Why don't I just go ahead and, if people have questions about more details, maybe I should just go ahead and kind of skip ahead a little bit. I won't kind of dig deeper into some issues that I was going to. So there have been, in addition to the changes in HR 1, there also have been some more changes at the federal level. So for example, there, USDA, the agency, the federal level that administers SNAP, used to put out a report to look at food insecurity over time, meaning people's ability to purchase the types of food for a healthy diet, or their inability to purchase food for a healthy diet. Kind of looks at that spectrum, right? However, USDA ended that report and ended that measure earlier in the fall. They said they were not going to continue to report on that. And then, of course, most recently has been the shutdown, and that has been taking a lot of the headlines lately and has caused a lot of concern for people who utilize SNAP benefits or are applying for benefits because they don't know how they're going to feed their families. Just recently, we got some encouraging news. So on Friday, 2 judges ruled that USDA must use what's known as their contingency fund. I know you all know about contingency funds, to pay for SNAP benefits. And just a few weeks prior, USDA said, well, we cannot legally use this contingency fund for SNAP benefits. That's not exactly correct. In fact, their memo that they issued before the shutdown actually said they could utilize those contingency funds for benefits. So they even stated as such, but then kind of went in a different direction. But 2 judges said you have to utilize the contingency fund to pay out benefits. And just today, the Trump administration and USDA said they will utilize the contingency fund. There's not enough in the contingency fund to pay out full benefits, but they can use what is in the contingency fund to pay out partial benefits for November. We know that it's not going to be full 100% benefits, and those benefits are going to be delayed But it will be something. However, we also know that USDA can use its authority to shift funds from other programs to pay out full benefits. And it did this just for another nutrition program called WIC. That's the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children. So I'm gonna pause there. I know that was a lot of information and I went through it kind of fast, but hopefully you all will get a printed version of my presentation that has a little bit more detail. But I'm also happy to answer questions if there are any in the room.
Okay, is there any questions for Mrs. Floyd at this time?
I've listened on public radio today, and the contingency fund has like $6 billion in it, which is about half of 1 month's supply of what they use. So the report I heard was that they were going to get half the benefits. So we're still looking at.
Yes, so that's correct. It would be about half. The numbers are that for 1 month, for all 42 million SNAP recipients nationwide, is actually more around $8 billion. But yes, the contingency fund in terms of what's available to use, yes, will be about half of that. So you're correct.
So we've still got, according to Councilmember Morgan, a good number of people in the city of Camilla that will be affected. And I'd like to see us be able to help these people, perhaps on a week-to-week basis. Tomorrow will be the longest federal government shutdown in history, and I feel like after tomorrow's elections, things will start rolling in Washington. So if we look at this on a week-to-week basis, then perhaps, hopefully by the end of the month. But again, we need to help our citizens now because they need to help us. They're getting half what they usually do, so.
Yes, that sounds fantastic, and I think really critical, and it's really a lot of local communities that are coming together that are supporting people who are at the brink of food insecurity or even worse, hunger, right? So just as a little bit more information, SNAP benefits are issued kind of on at different times throughout the month based on a person's client ID. So the first SNAP issuance of the month is usually around November 5th. I know there's been a lot of reporting that benefits stopped on November 1, but November 5th will actually be the first missed benefit payment for a certain amount of SNAP clients in Georgia. The last payment issuance rather is on the 23rd of the month, and that's how it goes every month, right? They don't give it all out to everybody on one day. It kind of is parceled out throughout the month. So some people might have some leftover benefits from October.
My question is this, the catchphrase is the card. So if we are going to help our citizens, the citizens that we would want to target or help would be able to produce a card showing that they get the benefits. Is that correct?
The EBT card, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Almost everybody receives an EBT card. Yes, yes.
Okay, so they could present a card which would prove that they had benefits, and then some form of ID proving they live in the city of Camilla. Just to make sure that we're serving the citizens of Camilla with citizens of Camilla tax dollars. So I just wanted to verify that the card is a good way to ensure. Now, does that card have a date on it or anything?
It probably might have a date around like maybe when, I'm not 100% sure, but it might be kind of when it was first issued to them or something like that. But I will note that there are people who might have applied for benefits in October because, they lost their job or something else happened. And they might be finally kind of approved in November, but they might not have gotten their card yet. So,
but they would have some sort of documentation from the government that they were approved.
I would Yeah, I would say if there was, if you were open to other forms of documentation that they applied for benefits and just hadn't received them yet, I think you might catch some people who might not actually have a physical EBT card.
Thank
Mhm.
Any other questions from this board?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Floyd, for that presentation.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you for having me. And if you ever have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. Right. Okay, we're gonna move right along on our agenda for tonight, and we have action items tonight. And our first action item is emergency food assistance allocation. And we're gonna turn it over to Councilman Morgan at this time.
Thank you all again. Again, as you all know, where this item has stemmed from, we wanted to be proactive in having some support in the event that residents did not or would not receive benefits on time. In our packet that we sent out, the source for funding this emergency allocation, again, would be our MEAG rebate that we actually voted and made a resolution for in June of this year. So the funds are readily available. I am wondering from staff, would you have the recent update of that balance? I know we did a utility credit already.
I want to say, well, I'm not talking about the trust and those two accounts, but just locally, I think we have 2 million.
And this one specifically was the 2024 year-end settlement. It originated at 941,000. I know we spent at least 200.
Plus certain legal fees.
Yeah. So okay. So just whenever we could see that current balance on that. And so far, we have had some conversations with the Boys and Girls Club of Mitchell County. Their current and ongoing program, and what they've had discussions on doing is grab and go meals. So looking to support that infrastructure. Those would go to club kids at the Camilla Club sites. Had a great conversation with the superintendent for Mitchell County Schools. On Saturday, they met. They'll be initiating some grab and go meals starting Friday. So each student in the school system will be taking home meals over the weekend. And so we'd love to also support them in that. And then we also had staff send us information from our COVID pandemic program. We have food vouchers with a local grocer. So I have sent that around at least to Councilman Vereen. And a few others have access to it. But we'd love to support, explore that partnership again as well. But at this time, the ask is just to allocate 75,000 out of this fund to support some emergency food assistance, ensuring that was just discussing that conversation. This money and these meals and support are going out to Camilla residents and families that are using the EBT resources. So I'll pause for this motion, or if you want to do discussion.
Can we discuss a couple of things?
Yeah, let's discuss a few things. I noticed that you mentioned partnershiping with the school, churches, and other partners there. Now, what are you really asking for? Are you asking for us to do the vouchers as that we did last year?
Yeah, so out of that allocation, the Boys and Girls Club won't have hard numbers until their meeting next week, but they mentioned it cost around $10,000 a month to run that program of theirs. So out of the 75 that we allocate for this assistance, supporting the Boys and Girls Club in that route, again, the school system mentioned that this program is running anywhere between, I think, 70,000 for them to do. So supporting them in funding out of our 75 that we allocate as well. And then I think Councilmember Green wants to explore a week-to-week rollout with the local grocery, exploring a food voucher program.
Could you maybe update us, Ms. Ford, on, I did a total on the Hendricks and Hayes voucher last time, it's around $61,000. From what I just, from the email that we got, just looking at it. And was that a lengthy program? I know it was during the pandemic, do you remember?
We had to order the cars and then we set aside a day and certain hours where they just came. I didn't participate in it, but from what I recall, they came and had to show ID because it was the silver rewards, I think was what it was called. It was 62 or older, so they had to have some form of.
Oh, so it was just senior citizens during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay, because we're looking at, 25% of the population, you said, that's 1,250.
That's what the county goes to.
Just for the county.
Well, there, at 5,000 residents of Camilla, 25% is 1,250 people. Okay, that's where I was going with that. So if we did 1,250 for 1 week at $50 a person, that's $62,500. And we spent 61,000 in the last thing, and then that would leave 10,000 to help the Boys and Girls Club. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I feel like the school system is county and city, and we want to focus on city residents. Does the Boys and Girls Club serves the city, or does it serve the county? I don't know.
Yeah,
City, county, city, and
They
county.
have city locations.
Okay. I think our best option is the voucher system that comes out of here. If we want to serve the citizens of the city.
Now, how is this gonna be restricted to the citizens? It's their money. It's the citizens' money.
So they bring their card and their
I
driver's
know that,
license with their
but,
address.
Like the school, that's county school, and the Boys and Girls Club, all of their members are not city residents.
Well, I think though, we could, at the Boys and Girls Club, they could show their driver's license to get a meal and they're the city limits.
And I think the emphasis on the club, again, this will be for the Camilla site. So all of those students are Camilla residents.
I think I think you're right, that serves. I'm all for the amount that I think that it's in the budget that we had, from the MEAG settlement. I think that there's enough money in that. We just want to be careful how it's dispersed. Would be, and I don't want to put any undue work on someone, like, oh, sure, let's do it, but hey, Cheryl, you got to do all this work. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that we've got the staff that is available to handle that. So if she was talking about the 5th, that does give us a little bit of time. So they're going to get something on the 5th, and that gives us a little bit of time. And again, on a week-to-week basis, I think this is going to work itself out in the next couple of weeks.
And logistically, we'll need
2 weeks.
about 7 to 10 days to
Yes.
get the card, because if y'all choose to go with the card, which worked fine last time. And then we would need to partner up with Hendricks and Hayes, so we have to get an agreement in place with them.
So,
Then set up a distribution.
and do you think we have the staff that could handle that?
So, council, are you all agreeing on doing the vouchers for food and what's left out of that, giving it to the Boys and Girls Club? Do you?
Don't you think this ought to be, and I'm okay with that, but it should be subject to, if the federal government funds it 100%, then that should end this. Maybe another day down the road, they're gonna need some of that.
That sounds good, but,
I think it's still gonna be delayed. I think we
Yeah.
can do this one-time thing, and we may have to look at it again next month.
Yeah, but I mean, they gonna fund it, I'm confident with that.
But we're looking at people that are counting on, they're getting half what they usually get November 5th. And this is literally half of, I mean, it's $75, $50 on a one-time thing. And the amount that Councilmember Morgan is talking about is literally for 1 month, if that. Yeah. We'd have to refund, not refund, like give back, but refund again in December, because what we're talking about is if we're looking at 1,250 people, it's gonna last about a month.
all right, any other discussions on that? Right, and this piece here is about allocating the money, right?
Correct.
And to set aside $75,000 to be able to give out the vouchers. And of course, about 10,000 of it go to the Boys and Girls Club.
To do
To,
a box.
yeah, to help with their food program there.
So the priority though is gonna be the vouchers and whatever's left will be distributed.
Distribute to the Boys and Girls Club.
Vouchers are at $50, that number.
Is it 50 or
Right,
75?
let me, I have both of them, let's see, 1,250. It'd be 50, that's the 62.5 at $50.
This is with, and provided that Hayes and Hendricks will partner with us, they did the
Correct.
last time without any problem.
And that will leave the Boys and Girls Club what?
Good job, Mr. Collins.
How much?
12,500.
12,000?
12,500 will be remaining. And that is if all 1,250 vouchers are used. So,
Which is probably.
No.
So
there
be
would be,
more.
there would be more than 10,000 remaining. 12,500.
Are we gonna limit it to a certain amount?
Well, your card gets you a voucher for $50.
I don't know, if there's 18,000 left, are we gonna give all of that?
Oh,
No,
no.
You wanna say 10,000 or?
Yes.
what would-
I think that's the number that Councilmember Morgan.
She mentioned it was between 10 and 12. She just didn't have the argument today.
A minimum of 10, not to exceed 12. How's that? That work? Cheryl, you gotta write fast on this crowd. That's good.
$50 vouchers,
Mhm.
partnership with Hendricks and Hayes. The remaining funds from the $75,000 allocation, there's a minimum 10,000, not to exceed 12,000 going to the Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club of Camilla. As you know, there's several units of work.
okay. We're gonna get a motion to include all of that. I'd like to get a motion to do $50 vouchers.
Okay, so they would receive a $50 voucher when they present their EBT card and identification. And that $50 voucher would go towards groceries at Hendricks and Hayes, provided they partner with us, what we think they
And then the remaining will go to the
Boys and Girls Club, minimum of 10, not to exceed 12.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on the agenda for tonight, we have a proclamation which will be honoring our local African-American elders. Councilman Morgan going to present that.
Thank you all again. This is a just new and consistent initiative that we've been doing, honoring around Juneteenth, but in this one in particular, one of our local Black churches is hosting its anniversary, and in their anniversary, they are just taking some time to honor the long-serving members. So again, this is helping share the live story and sacrifices of these folks who helped build this community. Again, it's just making sure folks will remember, celebrate it, honoring them. The language on it is consistent with what we already are approving. In this case, again, it's just IDing these particular members at Beulah Baptist Church.
All right, thank you. All right, any discussion on this proclamation? Hearing none, all those in favor, get a motion to adopt this proclamation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. All right, this proclamation has been adopted, and thank you, council, for. All right, we're moving now to our discussion item for tonight. First discussion item is the Fuller Street well upgrade, and we're going to turn it over to Luke, and he'll give us some details on this Fuller Street project.
So to just orientate on the issue, the Fuller Street rehab project goes to the Fuller Street pump. The city has a high pressure zone and a low pressure zone. This pump sits in the low pressure zone. The low pressure zone is everything west of 19 and south of Broad Street. So it serves all those residences. Currently, that zone is supplied by one well at industrial. So this rehab will give a redundancy to the low pressure zone by adding a pump station over there. About 5 years ago, when it was operational, it was pumping lime up into our system, so it was shut down. EPDs asked for our, I guess, plan with the well. If we abandoned it, to restore it, we would have to build a new well. But to rehab it, we can do that. Pretty much using the well with a rehabilitation on it. New well though would cost estimated $2 million, while rehab was estimated $500,000. Our bid came in under budget at $317,000, so it's nearly 40% under budget. By bringing that system back online, we'll again add redundancy and strengthen our water system on the south side of our town. Yeah, that's me.
What's the method of rehab? What are they gonna do?
They're gonna put more casing into the pipe, yeah, and then they're gonna also reduce pump size, because without that casing, that's what was pulling in the line, because the casing didn't go far enough down. But also reducing the pump size to 50 gallons a minute from 100. This will be weaker and not allow the system to pull that line up.
How deep is that well?
We had it, I think it was I don't want to tell you the wrong number, I think it was 170, something around there, but.
It's not very deep. That's 75 of that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 100, it was around that. I don't think it was more than 200, but I can give you the actual answer on that later. But that's what it was about. But yeah, with the added casing and the reduction of the pump size, it won't pull that line. And also the 50 gallons a minute is enough to serve both Chili Street and Legion, even in the case if industrial went down. So even, and that's if we have to shut industrial down for repairs, not to say it breaks or anything, but it just it gives us redundancy and strengthens our system.
Are they gonna have to build a new building?
No, they can use the same building.
What is that, a 12 or 16-inch one?
I don't. We pulled some of the casing out. I think it's 16. I believe it's 16.
I'd say at least 12. Could be 16.
I think it was 16, but there might have been a 12 and they were talking about adding a 16 as one of the options of, reducing that line build-up. I think if it was 12, it was a lower pump. They decided to go with it. Part of the casing's out beside the pump station right now, though. Yeah.
And it's only going to be 50 gallons a day.
Yes. Yeah. The one that was in there was 100. Right, that's what's in there. Yeah,
Is it a vertical shaft or is it a submersible?
it's vertical.
And the funding source, we already have a current cheaper loan, so if the money would be coming from the current cheaper loan.
You got that extra room?
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Appreciate that, Luke. Could we get 3 council members to take this as an action item for next week? Okay, this item will be an action item for next week. Appreciate it, Luke. Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna move right along on the agenda for tonight, and we're gonna come to our next discussion item is 2023-2024 fiscal year audit status. Mrs. Councilwoman Grant.
I first want to say a big thank you to our CFO, Lisa, for coming tonight. We have met personally several different times, and I know how hard she has worked on this. I don't know if y'all know the situation that she inherited when she took the job, but she's gone through a lot to get us where we are. So do you mind, Ms. Hunsford, just giving them a brief update of where we are now, and then we'll talk about where we're going.
So our recent update, we're supposed to have the final audit report next Monday. That's the gist of it.
Awesome. And going forward, Ms. Ford told me, we received an extension this year. And is it correct that we don't get?
You don't get them back.
Okay. All right. So, in talking with Ms. Lisa today, I just wanted to, and I asked her, we want to make sure that she has all the help that she needs because we don't get another extension. So just in a timeline, it looks like we've got about 3.5 months to come up to speed to get the information for this, for the 24-25 fiscal year.
March the 30th of 26.
All right, but it takes them 6 weeks. Right. So, so you want to address that real quick, that you,
Well, they told us this year that it would take a month, but it did take.
it's taken 2.
So, but I think that's because we were not in a slot in their schedules, so, but I'll make sure that we are. for the
Okay.
next time.
And then you've got the help you need to, let's get
Yes.
this thing on track, okay? Just out of curiosity, what happens if?
We just have to mind.
Okay. Okay, but it's not like
It doesn't halt operations or anything. But
Okay.
you really don't want to be the one.
okay, but we've got everything, according to Ms. Hosford, we should have that audit Monday, a week from today. And that's coming from the CPAs, and then we're on track.
Well, and then the question becomes, what is the intent of the council as far as selecting a firm to do 24, FY 24 call. Because I don't have a letter of engagement from Valenti to do that. You could reach out and get that, or do y'all want to pursue other?
Well, I think we should ask Miss Lisa, she's seen, I mean,
I would say reach out to them. There's not a lot of those firms around.
And it would be the year 20, it would be the year 25. Because we're doing 24.
25.
so when you call it that, I had it listed 23, 24 in process, but that's actually called a 24.
Yeah, the
Okay,
audit
so
that we'll have Monday is.
It's a 24, and this one coming up is, we call it 25, okay. All right, so, Ms. Hosford, are you okay with us engaging the same firm for the next one? Okay, so how, do we need to make that formal
Well,
or?
I
is
guess
there-
that depends on if they can work us in their schedule on March 31.
Yes.
And that'll depend on your conversation with them.
I'll reach out to them.
Okay, and so you can tell us next Monday night where we stand there. Okay. Wonderful. And again, y'all, Miss Lisa has worked so hard. And thank you for coming tonight. I know that you have to drive home and I'm going to make it safely back tonight. But thank you for coming tonight. Explain that. That's very kind. Thank you.
Takes care of everything for you, Ms. Green?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, now we're gonna move right along on the agenda for tonight, and we're going to go to discussion item number 3, electrical cities of Georgia voting delegates. And as you see in your package, typically we have voting delegates for ECG. And currently, our delegates that we have on this board now is no longer with us. So we as a council have to come up with some new delegates. And normally your voting delegate would be normally your city manager or your mayor and any other official that serves in your city in that capacity. So at this time, I'm going to open the floor up to any of the council members of nominating or selecting voting delegates.
I make a motion that Dwayne be voting delegate and Luke be alternate.
Second.
Can one person serve in 2 spots?
No,
No.
Okay, so that takes care of voting delegate and voting delegate alternate. There are 2 other spots. Ms. Ford, would you? be
well, I'd be
willing-
the same, I'd say they'd be the same. Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, they need to be the same delegates for the other
There
part.
are 4 spots, so I'm looking at the next 2 columns.
Right.
So we go Mr. Burley, Mr. White, Mr. Burley, Mr. White.
That's where I see it.
So,
That's my recommendation.
all right, so would we change the wording in column 3 to Mayor Pro Tem?
I think it needs to be correct.
All right, so I'm in agreement with Mr. Burley as the voting delegate, Mr. White as the alternate, but column 3 would need to read Mayor Pro Tem, and that would make column 4 would be Mr. White's official title is Assistant City Manager. Okay,
Yes.
I mean, that would be the correct wording there. Okay.
It has been motion and second. Any other discussions? Yes. All right. All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried. And we also have to do a resolution to put myself as well as Luke White as myself as the voting delegate and Luke White being the alternate voting delegate. We do this in the form of a resolution.
Will we do that Monday night, or is that something we can take care
Or
of
do we need to do
tonight?
that tonight?
I had it for discussion, but
Yeah. let's just push this to, Monday night.
We'll put it in formal
Yeah,
form.
form of, action item, and we'll take care of that on next week. Show of hands, want to see that on the agenda. All right.
Thank you both for agreeing to do that.
Okay, item number 4. As you noticed in your package, there was some signage for the gymnasium. And at this time, we're just going to open this up to the floor. I think on each one of these signage that we have in this package, they did have the prices on them. So I'll open the floor up to council to get their ideas and their opinions on how we should carry forth with this.
Cheryl, is this bid, is that $14,185 or
It is.
they got a lot of zeros there, I just want to make sure.
And Teresa said the reason it's important to go ahead, and she said we can put it off until December if y'all aren't comfortable right now making the decision, is because they want to get everything underground that they can before they cover it up with cement.
And that's with the wiring, right?
Yeah, so if you know you're gonna want a sign, they kind of need to know what kind of sign you're gonna want, so they can go ahead and get it wired to that before they actually cover that area up with something.
Is this expense in the budget for the gym?
For the,
On that too, is
It's
this,
not part of the construction house.
So we would have to find the funding.
And there was a contingency, but I can't tell you this early in the project if that contingency will get used for something else. I mean, there's just no way to know that.
Would they be able to run the wiring and then we find the funds? I think we can find the
And I think
funding
just
for
getting the
that.
wiring underground is kind of what we want to do. But these were some examples that she provided that, you may be interested in, or you may want something different.
okay. So the object to what we need to be doing now.
If y'all
If
know
we
you're
want
gonna
a
want
sign-
a sign, then I'll tell her yes, make sure that the
Yeah.
electrical gets.
Yeah.
Who wants a sign?
Sign,
I
yeah.
want a
Do you-
sign.
Do you want a sign like this?
I
Do you
think
want
that-
one that
I
requires
think that if we're
electricity?
gonna have that nice of a building, it would be appropriate to have the proper signage.
Okay.
and in their note too, I like the 14,000 one, the contractors mentioned having visibility on both sides of the road. And I think that's what this 14 is for.
Is that the only one that has two-sided visibility?
I just read the note they mentioned.
I got
They recommended that one because it displays on both sides.
Well, they're all double-sided,
Mhm. They're just
they're all double-sided.
different sizes.
It's a little bitty white by the higher price.
I think we'll have time enough to kind of decide on where we want to get a sign,
But
but
are these prices only for a certain time? Because if you look, guys, it goes up considerably. Oh, the double signage is what the extra, okay, gotcha.
They had the small note there.
Okay,
Single side.
all right, I understand now. So like, if you're looking at that first one, that $9,000 is one side, it's $11,585 for two sides. Okay. All right, got it. So the cheapest one now becomes $11,600. Okay. But I think we are all in agreement that we need a sign.
So I can't tell her just to prepare or to plan, to have a contractor plan for it.
I think so. We
yeah,
need-
yeah.
Yes.
We
You know,
can
do
do
we
a
want
sign
to go ahead and lock in a price, or I think that we will change? Okay.
We got time.
That's a little bit premature.
Okay.
We got time to deal with that. We just want to make sure we put the outlets there for the sign. Wiring. Okay. All right, our final discussion item tonight is our 2026 4th of July celebration display. And as you all notice in your package tonight, we have one that has the drones, and we have one that has our regular fireworks. And as you look into the package here, you see that the cost is considerably different. I think the cost with what we did last year with this year with the drones. What we did the best or the better?
We did the middle.
The middle one, so
He
it's
did
set,
tell me there was a price increase, but I didn't look.
It's a price
Last year
increase.
it's around 60 maybe.
yeah, right now it's showing with the 200 drones, they're $70,000. And we're looking at our firework, the normal firework, it is 30,000 with 1,600 and some 68 total shots. And it gives you an opening, a body, and the firework. And this show for the fireworks itself is 15 to 20 minutes. And compared to what we've done with the drones,
It was 7 last year.
I got it in the detail, but this is something that council, we could start considering and see which route we want to go.
I mean, you're gonna need to book. I mean, this is,
Right.
believe it or not, this is the time of the year you have to book or you'll lose 4th of July.
Okay.
I don't like to ever be negative, but I was unimpressed with the drone show this year. I would recommend the fireworks, the real fireworks, the $30,000.
Well, that's the cost of your sign right there. Get 2 signs.
Well, I know some people like the fireworks, and we've not had fireworks in a while. I think it'd be a good
Yeah,
idea
I've
to
got to
go
switch up
back.
a little bit.
We can always go back next year. I like fireworks. I know some people don't like them because of the dogs and all
Yeah.
that.
But if they have enough time to prepare, put them in the house, I don't know.
I like.
Cheryl, is it, in the past, I know that you're, firsthand when things go, dogs go missing and stuff. On July the 5th, is it really?
They got missing your rank, so.
We,
Um,
our dispatch wasn't higher this year. We
We had drones, for the last 2 years.
That's like
3 years.
what we have.
I noticed where you may have experience with that, I'm just asking.
I can't say we certainly have, Willie. I
I
know
know.
my dog.
Mine don't either,
But you know, I put them up, so
Right.
I don't worry about them getting lost or running because of the noises. I mean, they pop around where I live, they start in the daytime, obviously, because all night long.
For a week.
You know, but I mean, you know, I think probably from the city's perspective, depending on which one y'all choose, we could probably do some public service announcements, just to remind everybody, you know, please secure your animals and who to call if you lose one and all that kind of stuff. I think we could be a little bit more proactive trying to get a message out. You know, we realize that pets, some pets don't like them.
Now, the other things that were downtown were wonderful.
Mhm.
The inflatables, that seemed to be very popular.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how that fit into the budget or anything, but,
We have a 4th of July festival. don't we?
Yes,
Right.
yes, we did.
so, that was very,
All of that
Popular.
can still be the
the
same.
kids really had, the kids I saw were lovely.
Yeah, yeah. So, council tonight, do we want to decide?
Monday night.
We'll-
Give them time to think.
Yeah, let's get time to think about it, and we just need 3 council members to want to see this on the agenda for Monday night, and we can go ahead and vote on what we want and go from there, okay? All right. Council, thank you all for participation and discussion for tonight. Is there any other comments from the city manager, assistant city manager?
I just have one update on some line striping downtown for the parking spots. You know, we're repainting all those lines. We're adding, I believe it's 2 more, handicap parking down there as well. Also marking the EV charging station spots. That's gonna be going on sometime between next week and before Thanksgiving. So if you see them down there, just watch out for traffic. They're gonna do it at night or by section, just based on what they see when they get there.
And also, Luke, I got one thing right there on Peach Street where they did the little regular sewage stuff. Across the road. Yeah, if we can we kind of get some more gravel in there? There's a lot. Yeah, they're washing it out with the rain and stuff of that nature. It's kind of tough kind of driving North Harmon. Yeah, North Harmon.
Look how crazy that
Yeah, yeah. If we can get that done, that'd be very efficient.
That road was just paved too.
Yes.
Yeah, they went in and cut.
2023 it's paid.
Yeah. Yeah. And they did some work there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, there anything else? I'd like to do a motion.
I just have one.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to thank you. Mr. Burley has done an outstanding job. And in 11 months, I don't ever remember as much of a harmonious, civil, awesome few meetings as we have had the privilege of with you sitting right there. I just want to thank you.
Anybody else? All right, could I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to
So moved.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
That gets it done, and I got, we'll report that date on.
Hey, good job. Thank you. It's not, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Get that.
This morning, there was one of those things up there, I thought it was for us. Is this for the paper? I was gonna share something with the seniors. I just thought.
If you need some more, I have the PDF.
No, I just thought I would check.
Let me know, we got a digital copy. Safe travels home. Thank you so much. It's called this. Thank you. I want to ask her that.
I'm good. How are you?